Four simple techniques that, if you use them in your job interview, can increase your chances of getting hired by up to 80%. Hi, how are you? I'm Romulo Gutierrez. This is the Job Room channel. I've been a recruiter and talent selector for 27 years, and I'm going to share with you four tips for techniques that, when you use them in your job interview, your chances of getting hired go up. What's the first one? Quickly connect yourself to the key skills required for the position. Think about this for a second. In every interview you do, there's a job description that was posted on LinkedIn, Indeed, or any number of job sites. When you look at that job posting, you have a description. Here's my tip. Read the description and circle 3, 4, or 5 technical keywords that you think are the essence of the job, okay? So let me give you an example. Nurse. I read the job posting, and it says I'll need to do wound care, draw blood, visit patients in their hospital rooms, and work together with a team of doctors, right? I read that and circled those items in the job posting. During my interview, the more I can show my skills with wound care, my ability to collect lab samples, my experience working with multidisciplinary medical teams, the more I highlight these throughout the interview, the more the recruiter sees me as a fit for the position. And my chances of being hired go up a lot. All right? You should never forget that the job description is like your GPS. It's what guides the recruiter to identify the best talent for that position. So you need to align yourself with the key competencies for the job. Right from the start, in every question. What's the second important technique? It's about your professional growth. We, as professionals in the job market in the 21st century, have a huge need to constantly study, to keep learning, and to interact with new technologies. So, in every field, for every professional, and everywhere in the world, if a recruiter or a manager notices that a candidate is outdated or stagnant, if he doesn't learn new things, if he hasn't been studying, if he hasn't been seeking to improve himself, chances are you won't get the job. So, what's my tip for you? Never leave a job interview without showing or talking about what you've read, what you're currently reading, what you're learning, which course you're taking, which seminar, or which online course you've recently completed that will add value to your field. If you can show this throughout the interview, the person interviewing you thinks, hey, this professional is seeking knowledge. This professional is looking for theory. This professional is trying to improve their practice in their field. I want to have this professional on my team. So it's not that your basic education, whether it's your technical course or your college degree, isn't valuable. But it's no use having studied at Harvard, having done, some MBAs and a doctoral program if I'm not keeping myself up to date right now, especially in my field. So if you can show these two aspects, you'll have a much better chance in any interview. Third point that will increase your chances, something that might seem small. The recommendations tab on LinkedIn. The recommendations tab on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, an employability network. The most important in the world is LinkedIn. A good portion, about 80% of recruiters worldwide use LinkedIn, but they don't just use it to look for the best candidates. They use LinkedIn throughout the entire selection process. What am I trying to say? If you're going to an interview, it's natural for the recruiter 5, 10, 15 minutes before, an hour before, or even a day before to look you up on LinkedIn to learn a bit about who they're about to interview. Or the owner of the company who's going to interview you, when they sit down for the interview, what do they come across? With a static resume? With a resume that's just sitting there? How do you manage the recommendation section on LinkedIn? That's what I'm getting at. How do you manage the recommendation section on your LinkedIn? That's the main point, you see. So when I looked at your LinkedIn, I saw 4, 5, 6, 7 recommendations from people who worked with you. from clients who interacted with you, from suppliers who worked with you, from managers who worked with you, all leaving recommendations on LinkedIn about your professional performance, your delivery style, all of that. I'd say you walk into the interview, not necessarily already approved, but with much better chances. Because at that point, they've read people speaking highly of your work, praising your professional qualities. It's not you talking about yourself, it's someone who worked with you talking about you. And a lot of people end up not using the recommendation section on LinkedIn. My tip? Of course, ask people who worked with you and who will say positive things. This will help you. Now I'm going to share the fourth tip, which might be the most important one in this video. Before I go on, if you want to simulate an interview with Vivi Online to get feedback, whether you're doing well, if you did poorly, or where you need to improve, just reach out to me using the link in the description, okay? The purchase is automatic. Everything is done through Hotmart, 100% secure payment, and there's a discount code too, all right? You just go there and pick your time slots. Schedule your appointment, and we'll train together simulating a real-time interview with you, okay? And I'm also going to ask you to subscribe and hit the like button, which is really important. Subscribe to the Job Room channel and leave your like to help this process, to help this project grow. And the fourth tip I'm going to give you, which is essential, is know how to talk about your weaknesses. Know how to talk about your weaknesses in the interview. A lot of candidates end up missing out on opportunities because they mention weaknesses that directly conflict with the job. Weaknesses that get in the way of the position. I'll give you an example. It's like a cook who's clumsy, who isn't careful. They're going to hurt themselves in the kitchen or hurt someone else. Or a driver who doesn't like to follow rules. So imagine, tell me about your weakness. Well, I have a bit of trouble following rules. I'm a driver. How am I supposed to work in traffic? So how am I supposed to represent a company? Be careful to mention weaknesses that don't directly conflict with the job. I personally have about 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 weaknesses. So I can pick 3 that don't interfere with the job. But I'll make this point much clearer for you in a full tutorial. Strengths and weaknesses for you to mention in the interview. Go check out this video. It'll really help you out. Great preparation. Take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.